Hey Grizzlies, how are you today? Happy First Chapter Friday! You are still on spring break, so there's a good chance you're not going to be seeing this until next week, which is totally fine. I hope you're enjoying your spring break. I hope you're relaxing and recharging. I know that you guys have got to be getting tired being at home. Some of you have written me some pretty funny emails telling me that even though you can play all the video games you ever wanted, you really miss school and can't wait to come back. So me either. I can't wait to come back. But it looks like we're going to be homeschooling for a little bit longer, and I'm going to have to be First Chapter Fridaying from here, my bedroom, in front of my phone. But I've got a really good book to share with you today. Obviously, all the books that I share with you are really good books. I'm not going to waste your time with anything terrible. Trust me. The books that I share with you on First Chapter Friday are all good. So this book is called The Strange Case of Origami Yoda, and it's written by Tom Angleberger. And this book has been around for a while, but it is absolutely always a favorite. Every year I have kids that just, once they find this book and somebody reads it and then they're like, oh, this is a really good book, and they share it with somebody else, and then they're like, oh, this is really good, and it sort of, spreads around like wildfire. So I am excited to share this one with you today. This is, let me read you the back. It says, it takes the wisdom of Yoda to survive the 6th grade. Meet Dwight, a 6th grade oddball. Dwight does a lot of weird things, like wearing the same t-shirt for a month or telling people to call him Captain Dwight. This is embarrassing, particularly for Tommy, who sits with him at lunch every day. But Dwight does one cool thing. He makes origami. One day, he makes an origami finger puppet of Yoda. And that's when things get mysterious. Origami Yoda can predict the future and suggest the best way to deal with a tricky situation. His advice actually works, and soon most of the 6th grade is lining up with questions. Tommy wants to know how Origami Yoda can be so smart when Dwight himself is so clueless. Is Yoda tapping into the Force? It's crucial that Tommy figure out the mystery before he takes Yoda's advice about something very important that has to do with a girl. This is Tommy's case file of the investigation into the strange case of Origami Yoda. All right, so here is chapter 1, Origami Yoda and Dwight by Tommy. There's a picture, Dwight. This book does have pictures and doodles in it. Not quite as much as like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but there's definitely, stuff to see. The big question, is Origami Yoda real? Well, I mean, of course he's real. I mean, he's a real puppet made out of a real piece of paper, but I mean, is he real? Like, does he really know things? Can he see the future? Does he use the Force? Or is it just a hoax that fooled a whole bunch of us at Macquarie Middle School? It's really important for me to figure out if he's real, because I've got to decide whether to take his advice or not. And if I make the wrong choice, I'm doomed. I don't want to get all into it yet. So for now, let's just say it's about this really cool girl, Sarah, and whether or not I should risk making a fool out of myself for her. Origami Yoda says to do it, but if he's wrong, total humiliation. So I've got to know if he's real. I need solid answers. I need scientific evidence. That's why I went around and asked everybody who got help from Origami Yoda to tell their stories. And then I put all the stories together into this case file. Who knows? Maybe this case file could even be useful if scientists ever decide to study Origami Yoda. I try to make it really scientific. I let my friend Harvey comment on each story. Harvey has never, ever believed in Origami Yoda, not for 1 second, and he still doesn't. In fact, he says he's 100% sure that Origami Yoda is just a green paper wad. So he tried to find the logical explanation for all the really weird things that happened. And then I commented on each story too, because after all, I'm the one who's trying to figure this whole thing out. My other friend Kellen wanted to help too, so I let him borrow the case file. Instead of adding anything useful, he just doodled all over it. I was mad at first, but actually some of the doodles almost look like the people from school, so I didn't bother trying to erase them. And anyway, I don't have time for that. I've got to study this thing and make a decision. Is Origami Yoda real or isn't he? Oh yeah, one other thing I almost forgot about. Dwight. Dwight is the guy who carries Origami Yoda around on his finger. The strangest thing about Origami Yoda is that he is so wise, even though Dwight is a total loser. Now, I'm not saying that as an insult. It's just a fact. Dwight never seems to do anything right. Always in trouble. Always getting harassed by other kids. Always picking his nose. Always finding a way to ruin it for everyone, as the teachers say. If he would just listen to Origami Yoda's wisdom like the rest of us, he would have it made. But no, he ends up barfing in class because he ate 13 servings of canned peaches at lunch, or stealing a girl's shoe, or wearing shorts with his socks pulled up over his knees. He even manages to turn his good points into loser points. See, he is the total origami master of our school. First, he made cranes and frogs and all that, and then he started inventing his own stuff. Origami Yoda is not just a perfect paper version of Yoda, he's also Dwight's own designer. Dwight's not the first person in the world to make an Origami Yoda, of course. I mean, there's a bunch of them on the internet, but Dwight didn't download the instructions. He actually created his own Origami Yoda. But it's one thing to make a paper Yoda, and it's another to ask people to talk to it. I mean, that's what makes him a total loser. You can't go around school with a paper Yoda on your finger talking to people. I bet even Origami Yoda would tell him that if he would just listen. Anyway, here's the first story, which happens to be about a girl, not the girl, and shows how good it can be to listen to what Origami Yoda has to say. This is a really fun book, and there's more of them too. So if you like it, there's others you can read. I know that was a fast chapter, and if we were at school, you would beg me to read another one, and I probably would, but you're not here, and so I'm not going to read another one. You're going to have to pick this book up on your own and read it. But no worries, I have copies of this in the classroom, and I'm pretty sure we have copies of this in our library too. So hopefully we will be back to school soon. Oh, please, please, please. And you'll be able to read it on your own. All right. Spring break is almost over. I'm going to be seeing you next week. We're going to be getting our school on, our distance learning school on. I hope you're all doing okay. I hope you're hanging in. I miss you all terribly. I'm sure you miss me, right? Obviously you would miss me. Yeah, hopefully I get to see you soon. All right. So take care, everybody. Make good choices. Read books. It'll keep you from being bored. Read the newspaper. It's useful too. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.